Um, Thank you for joining me, Simon. I have Simon Wallis here, one of the two founders of Energise Franchise. So thanks for your time. I thought it would be really helpful if I could just ask you some questions about Energise Franchise, get your perspective, your opinion from it, and then this will be helpful to people who are thinking about booking a call and finding out a bit more themselves. So thanks very much, Simon. Could I just ask you initially, how did Energise begin?
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. So it was Kevin. Kevin is there's two directors in the business, myself and Kevin. Kevin started the business 14, 15 years ago, and he set up the website design business in Leeds, targeting small companies locally who need websites, and built a thriving business. I've known Kevin for 30 years. We've worked in different businesses for about 20 years in large corporate wholesale environments in sales and marketing roles. I was at a natural crossroads and decided to replicate his model in a different part of the country, which I've now done. So that's kind of where Energize started, is that we both set up identical businesses in different parts of the country. They've both been successful, and that, of course, sowed the seed for how can we replicate this in other parts of the country.
Ray, fantastic. Thank you. And prior to, I guess, starting as Energize, and you mentioned you've done a lot of other things in the past. How much website design experience do you got?
Both of us had no website design experience
Okay.
previous to this. It was something we learned on the job. And I think and I love the combination of this being a little bit of technology, a little bit of dealing with people, and a little bit of creativity. And the tools out there now, we don't mind what tools people use to create websites, but we've got some tools that we gravitate towards. They're very straightforward and come with some really good tutorials and some really good support from us as well.
Brilliant. Thank you. And I think you've kind of alluded to this that you and both you and Kevin, I guess, road tested this model in different parts of the country, and that's, I guess, what's led you to franchise it. What's your aims, I guess, out of franchising this?
Yeah, what I would say is that whilst we didn't have any website design experience, we came with experience of dealing with people and just basic skills like listening, understanding what their goals and aspirations are, and then translating that into a website for them, helping them tell their story. So having both created businesses for ourselves, it is very much based around creating a business around where you live. So around the town and the city and the county that you live in. And by definition, we couldn't scale it beyond where we lived. Plenty of opportunity on our doorstep. But what we wanted to do is replicate that model in different parts of the country and find people who had the drive and ambition and determination and passion to create something for themselves. So what really excites us is helping others to replicate the model as we've created ourselves. We've walked the walk where they're based.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so perhaps just some questions on the market opportunity, because I know yourself and Kevin have run this now for several years. Yeah, I get a sense there's a lot of businesses out there still without websites. Is that your experience?
There really are. Our niche are small, often one-man band businesses, whether they're sole traders or limited companies. But they're people that you meet them at networking groups, you meet them in the local community. They could be electricians, they could be plumbers, they could be builders. There's so many of them out there that have either got their own business or want to start and grow their own business. That's our niche, and we're very clear about what our niche is.
Great, thank you. And the pricing model, I know it's very clever. The strap line, the £10 a week pricing model. What kind of reaction do you get when you mention that to people?
People love it. It makes it a no-brainer for them. If we're talking about small local businesses, it makes it very affordable. So our model in simple terms is no upfront cost, £10 a week, which is £40 a month, and that includes everything. So that includes the design, the creation, the hosting, edits, and so on. And that makes it a no-brainer for people, and it's very, very appealing. and makes getting a website very accessible, particularly versus our competitors who might be design companies who have they tend to target bigger clients who and so our niche is very clear and our model is very suitable for that niche.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, so I know you've already mentioned about where these clients are, networking meetings and just around. Just I guess give me a sense of what a week is like for you.
Yeah, and what I would say is that when I started the business, that I say the first 12 months, 6, 12 months are very different to for me now on year 4, year 5, because the first 6 months is making a noise. It's looking in those local A5 magazines that come through your doorstep with little adverts in. It's looking on posters in no, on notice boards in shops. It's putting your own flyers on notice boards. It's making phone calls. It's going to networking events. You have to be really active, and we'll help you with all of that. We'll help you with what to say and where to go and how to position it. So there's very much being on the front foot and building a reputation. You know, you don't build a reputation overnight. So you have to get busy. The good thing is there are people out there that need you. There are people out there that need a website. So there's the pendulum then swings, I'd say after about 12, 18 months towards people contacting you. And that comes from referrals, that comes from reputation, and it comes from building an established business because we're helping you build your own business, replicating our model.
Great, thank you. So it sounds like not necessarily any marketing cost as such. It's more about time and getting out there initially.
One of the things that makes our model different is that we're meeting our customers. We're
Hmm.
local, we're meeting with them. There are people out there in your community that need a website. They just don't know who to trust, they don't know who to turn to. So if we meet them in a networking group or in a coffee shop or wherever it might be, there's that personal element that is one of the differentiators of the model. And so yeah, we kind of overcome a lot of the objections that people have when they're concerned. What I would say is we also get a fair share of people that have had a go at creating a website themselves on
Hmm.
Squarespace or GoDaddy or whatever it might be. They've had a go, they've burnt a lot of time, they've wasted a lot of time, and they've come to the conclusion that we can help them get a website that they're proud of, they're delighted with, and do the job properly.
Great, thank you. Okay, now I know one of the really attractive parts of this business is the recurring revenue side of things. Could you just give us a couple of, a bit of an insight into that?
Yes, and of course, every journey starts with a step, doesn't it? So when you get your first order, in effect your first subscription, it's a real victory,
Mm.
and it's a great feeling. And I still monitor every single new order on a spreadsheet, and I see them building, and I do reminisce and go back to the
Mm.
early days when I got one customer and four customers and eight customers. But what you're doing is you're building a really robust model of recurring subscriptions, really powerful. So early doors, it doesn't look very interesting in month 1 and month 2. But as you can imagine, with consistency and persistence, you keep tipping in customers. It becomes a really exciting model, and you're building something where you just know whatever you do, whether you're going on holiday, walking the dog, whatever you're doing, you just know what you're going to be invoicing next month. And you're building an asset, you're building something for yourself that gives you a stable, dependable income.
Great, thank you. Okay, just if we could just move on to, I guess, mentoring and support yourself and Kevin as the two founders. Can you give us an insight into what kind of support a new franchisee will get?
I split that into two, I think. There's the first phase, which you could call the boring bit, but which is helping you get the business, your business set up, registering your limited business, getting you set up on zero, getting you set up with the accounts. This is kind of like one-time stuff. This is stuff that we only have to do once. Getting the business set up properly. But then phase two kicks in as soon as we possibly can, which is the sales side and the training side. So you may or may not want some help and support on website design. Very happy to offer that. There's resources available to you, and we've walked that walk ourselves and can help and support you on that journey as well. You have to be a bit of a self-starter and be prepared to learn and make it happen as well. But we're definitely at your side to help you on that journey. And then, of course, there's the sales element, which is really important. And we've got a 12-point plan. We create a tailored sales development plan with you and really guide you on the steps that we both went through to grow the businesses ourselves. And we'd check in with you on a regular basis, probably quite frequently at the beginning. We'd most definitely meet face to face before embarking on this journey together. But then thereafter, we'd use video conferencing on a regular basis, probably slipping into once a week once you got started. But we faced all the objections, we faced all the bear traps.
Mm.
We know what you should be doing, and importantly, we know what you shouldn't be doing to help you follow the same path that we've created ourselves.
Great, thank you. And I know obviously some people have already followed that path. You do have some franchisees, you have a small network that you're looking to grow. Can you just give us a sense of their experience and any standout people that are amongst them?
Yeah, so we're building the network. We're I think five or six, and we've got plans to grow, but we're not in a hurry. We need to find the right people. We need to find people that are the right fit. We're the right fit for them. They're the right fit for us, and we just want to share the model and help others to replicate the model. So I'm thinking of we've got a young guy in Liverpool, for example, that has really delivered and replicated the model very, very well and very closely to how Kevin and I launched the same model. And yeah, he didn't have any design experience, any website design experience. He had sales experience. And yeah, together we've nurtured him to grow and replicate the model. We've got another lady who's based in Manchester that's done exactly the same. So yeah, we've got ambition to. There are, in fact, if we carve the country up, there's something like 80 territories. Each have approximately 80 to 100,000 limited businesses, and of course, you can double that when it comes to sole traders and partnerships. There's loads of opportunity. We are not in a massive hurry. We just want to find the right people in the right territories that we can work with to replicate the model.
Great, thank you. And just again, your list of the things you think, the types of people that might succeed in this. You have alluded to it, people with get up and go. What kind of people are you looking for?
Yeah, if you're someone that you've got a little bit of experience under your belt and you want to start and grow something for yourself, it has to come from within. You have to have that passion. You have to have that determination. But with support, you know, if you've got the ambition to have your own business, but also want the benefit of having someone at your side to help you grow that business with a tried and tested blueprint that works, and you've got determination, you've got a bit of confidence, you don't mind going to a networking meeting, you don't mind talking to people, you're good at listening, you're good at problem solving. You've got to have a little bit of resilience. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to have that determination just to tip in those new customers like we have, but also the pride to be able to deliver a website that you're proud of, the customer is delighted with because they become your salespeople. It's amazing how
Mm.
the pendulum swings, as I mentioned earlier, towards customers actually becoming your salespeople and making recommendations. So it's about we're owning the whole process from meeting the client to delivering the website to supporting the client. That's a really powerful combination, and that's something you got to enjoy.
But yeah, for sure. This is it's very strong for people. They know who they're dealing with. It's not getting they're not meeting, say, you, and then all the work's being shipped off offshore or anything like that. It's all being dealt with by yourself.
Very much, and it's something that appeals to our niche. There's a zillion people doing websites,
Mm.
but when we come to the model that we've created, the commercial proposition, what we offer, it's really powerful. It really resonates with these small local businesses. They don't know who to turn to for a website, or the website's out of date, or it really resonates with them, and it's an accumulation of USPs that make the proposition really, really powerful.
Yeah, and from a franchise perspective, it's really strong as well. There's a problem there. There's a problem that needs solving, which is these small businesses that can't necessarily afford, a website. It's very straightforward. You've explained it's very, very easy to understand. The pricing proposition works, and there's fantastic support behind it. That's why I think it's fantastic. Just a sense, Simon, in 5 years' time, I know you said you're not in a hurry, you want to make sure you get the right people to add to your network. In 5 years' time, what would you like Energize Franchise to look like?
I think in 2026, we'd like to get half a dozen, 6 to 8 new franchisees on board. Um, and then I can anticipate us adding something like a dozen a year and getting to 50, 60 franchisees. Um, but we're not in a hurry. We'd rather get the right franchisees on board, the right individuals who have got, yeah, that passion to grow something for themselves. So, and with that, and we can see it happening already with the few that we've got on board at this early phase, there's an element of camaraderie and networking and sharing that exists. Things change, technology changes. It's always innovating. And we share those best practices and we want to kind of nurture that and continue that. So, the people that we have on board, they're starting and creating their own business, but they're not alone. Not only have they got our proactive support, but they've got like a network that's building amongst the existing franchisees.
Yeah, fantastic. And I know when we've spoken to people, it's been very much two ways in helping people explore, is it the right opportunity for them, and is it the right opportunity to work with Energize as well. So if anybody's listening to this and watching this, and thinks everything they've heard sounds worth further investigation, what I'm going to do is I'll be sending this out to anybody who's expressed an interest in this, and there will be an email. In the email there will be a link, and that's just to book a short 10-minute conversation just with me initially, and I'll just answer any of the questions you've got. But obviously from there, Simon, we've had Zoom and Teams calls with people along the way, and it's a very open conversation, which is I found really encouraging to just help people find whether this is the right thing for them.
Yeah, we want to help people make an informed decision, and we want to share with you the model and how it works. And to me, it's important that there's a human element to this. And we very much want to treat this as a fact find, and so that we and you can make an informed decision if we're a good fit. And if we are, it's a really exciting proposition.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Simon. Thank you very much for your time today, and anybody who's watched the way all the way through, thanks very much for doing that. And as I say, if it sounds like it's worth a conversation, then just click the link that's in the email and let's take it from there. So, Simon, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you.